when you look at the bigger picture here more holistically as you as an individual, when your mind is on point, your mood is on point, and your physical self is also on point, this is going to just equal way like rivers of productivity. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be talking about performance in the gym and translating that into performance in your career or your professional life. And in my opinion, and everyone has an opinion, but there's a lot of science behind it. There's a lot of nuance. I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times, like, oh, strong body, strong mind, help how you be more successful, da da da, this and that. But it honestly is one of the most underlooked areas that every single person should be looking to improve, no matter what level you're at, what your physical condition is. You need to be exercising, and it is the absolute pinnacle, the most important thing for your organism as a whole. The top three things are going to be your mind, your mood, and ultimately your money. First off, with your mind, when you exercise, you are actually physically changing the structure of your brain, specifically in the hippocampus area. A lot of research behind this. It's super duper fascinating, but there was actually an increased volume in a increase in the new formation of brain cells in the hippocampus area when you're looking at long-term exercise. This is actually the area in the brain that is responsible for memory and memory retention and the formation of long-term memory. So obviously, if you can remember and retain more information, that is going to be something that is directly impacting your performance in and outside of your work environment. It's super annoying when you have to repeat something to someone like 20 times and they still can't remember it. Obviously, you do not want to be that person. Another key aspect of this long-term effects on the brain is actually a increased attention span due to the positive effects on the prefrontal cortex, which is this front part of your brain. And exercise has been shown, it does give short-term benefits, but there's also some chronic benefits of exercise that increase your ability to focus. And clearly that is another direct impact to anyone's productivity. We've all been there where you're really trying to focus on something and you get caught in this like wave or this like tide where you can't even like focus at all, right? Lastly, one of the most interesting things about these effects on the brain and brain structure and health, like longevity wise, is exercise is extremely neuroprotective, especially in the two areas that I mentioned, in the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus. And there's a lot going on in the prefrontal cortex, decision making, personality, but those two areas of the brain are they're the most susceptible to cognitive decline or neurodegeneration, which would cause things like dementia, Alzheimer's, and et cetera, et cetera. So to protect yourself from that, you need to be exercising, and that's just another benefit. This right here is probably the most important 6-inch piece of real estate that's in your body. Take care of it. The second most important thing that exercise is going to be doing for you to increase your productivity and your performance is actually the effects on your mood. Immediate effects of exercising obviously increase all of your endorphins. So you get a rise in neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, as well as norepinephrine. And these effects can last up to 2 hours post-exercise. Now, obviously, that is an acute response to exercise, but on the chronic side of it, you will be getting a lot of these benefits over time, and it really stacks up. And there's a ton of research out there that one of the best ways to mitigate depression is to exercise. Get your body moving. When you look at the bigger picture here more holistically as you as an individual, when your mind is on point, your mood is on point, and your physical self is also on point, this is going to just equal way like rivers of fucking productivity. Let's assume you have like 5% more productivity on a daily basis. Now accumulate that over a year. Like that is so much more that you're getting done every single day. Now think about the impact on your career as a whole for the your entire working career, like 30 years. Tremendous. And there's a reason why the most successful people on earth are very active and are very fit and healthy. And trust me, it's something that's so overlooked. Everyone talks about it, but no one like looks into this deeper side of it and how it has such a holistic impact. And everyone's obsessed with making more money, but we need to kind of tone that down and start focusing on smaller micro changes that you can make on a daily basis. And here's the best part about exercise. It costs you nothing. You don't even need a gym membership. You could run, you could go to the park. There's, calisthenic exercise you could do at home with very minimal equipment. There is literally no excuse to not be exercising, especially with the gobs and just intense volume of research out there, and a lot of this cutting edge research on the neuroscience side of it, and a lot of the cardiovascular research that's coming out. And like one of the pinnacle studies was having high VO2 max decreases your overall risk, like basically your risk for death across all the major like mortality groups. It reduces it by like a factor of 5 times. If you could make a medication that had the same effect, you would probably be the world's first trillionaire. Nothing exists like that. You have to exercise. We're meant to move. Our ancestors were not sedentary. We were probably somewhat nomadic, tribal kind of people. We weren't freaking sitting at computers for 12 hours a day looking at screens and swiping through Instagram for 6+ hours a day. We were always constantly on the move. Now, there's a couple more kind of deeper level, maybe even some subconscious effects on your athletic ability and how you operate in the world. And even some things with like your reaction times could be increased, your confidence as an individual, right? If and I'm not trying to sound mean here, but if you're super duper overweight, right? And you're walking up to do a presentation in front of people at work, and there's 50 people in the room, and your belly's hanging out and you're sloppy and everyone's looking at you, you're not going to feel confident. And even if you're not thinking about it, there's some subconscious things there, right? Or here's a good example. Let's say you're going to interview for a job, okay? And it doesn't even have to be sales, right? Because sales is a lot of customer interaction. It could be something where there's no, customer interaction with you. It could be some other remedial or something on the back end, some other career type. But let's say there's two individuals. They both have the same interview, okay? One of them is built like a D1 college athlete, and the other one is morbidly obese. And who do you think they're going to hire? Even if you could say it's like discrimination or like whatever, but subconsciously people think about this stuff, especially if that person is going for a leadership position. Leaders are built on trust. This person is showing to you that they're not taking care of themselves. If they're not taking care of themselves, how are you going to trust them to take care of a team? Teamwork is about trust. In the strongest leaders know how to build trust. So the first time someone looks at you, people judge you, right? Looks matter. I don't care what anybody says, and that's just facts, right? You want to be the strongest person or organism, however you want to chalk it up. And when you are healthier and you're showing that outwardly as well, there's a lot of positive benefits to that. And I'm not saying you have to be like chiseled 24/7, but at least look like you take care of yourself. And that has a huge psychological impact on your own confidence and then how you interact with the world. You want to be on point at all times, and the best way to do that is just to continue to have a super healthy regimen and routine in exercise. It's literally free. It sounds so simplistic, but the simple things in life matter way more than you think. Trust me.